What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the third day of August, and here we are at about 112.2K right now, 23 hours, 18 minutes left in the day. We have dropped. We've dropped a little bit. It is the third day of August, and we've just seen nothing but red so far this month, which is more or less exactly what we were expecting, right? The beginning parts of August were intended to be red, because typically the idea here is that a green month begets downside price action at first, right? And here we are over the weekend dumping, actually, which I think is something that we're not accustomed to. Maybe today, Sunday, we start to come up, because if I remember correctly, the last few Sundays have been bullish. Let's see, that Sunday there was 1.2% to the green effect. This Sunday here was red, but you came back up to close somewhat neutral. The Sunday before that was also bullish. The Sunday before that was also bullish. The Sunday before that was also green. I mean, we literally have had quite the large amount of green Sundays recently. Could we have a red Sunday today? Maybe. We did go lower than I intended, right? I did expect that we would find support above this area, but we found support smack dab right at it, at least as of now. Bitcoin lately has not been doing that, right? From a support standpoint, we have been front running these areas, reaching for it, but not quite getting there, right? Down here at 74K, way long ago in the price, but not too long ago in a time perspective. We missed the prior areas of resistance here as well, kind of stopping in an area that didn't really make sense. But here we are, potentially stopping at an area that makes complete sense, actually, which would be prior resistance right there. We've also got the looks, if we can reverse today and close green, if we can continue to persist here. Now, don't get too excited. You see this chart right now. You see it wicking up like this. Don't get too excited. There's a lot of time left in the day, but I'm pretty excited. I'm trying to hold back my excitement. I really do think that we're at the low. I'm surprised that it went this low, but I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking of, or what I'm looking for today's price action. Okay, because if we don't see what I'm about to say, things could get a lot worse before they get better. So we're looking for a very specific parameter. I'm going to go over that right now, actually, before we get too carried away. But again, I just wanted to address. I'm very surprised that we came down here. But hey, whatever. It looks good. It's fine. That's perfect. That is a perfect area to find support at. It literally is textbook chart structure from a fundamental strength or strength. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I can't talk right now. It is a fundamental signal of strength to back test prior resistance for support. Whew. Okay, now that my aneurysm is gone, from a low to a high, the thing that we did yesterday, the 2nd of August, that's a no-no. It's a no-no. At least in this situation, it's a no-no, is that we closed below the 382, which is at 112.9K. Closing below the 382 is problematic. Typically, it implicates that you'd go at least to the 0.5, which for reference sake is 110K. But likely down to the golden ratio. At least to the 0.5, but likely to the golden ratio, right? So what's that mean? We have a probability to go down to the golden ratio right now, right? Not to find support here. Unless we do one thing, and one thing only, one thing will save us. Today. It can't be tomorrow. It can't be a week from now. By that time, we'll probably have already calmed down if we don't do this thing today. Today, the 3rd, needs to close above the 382. We need to close below, close above, and then not return back, right? It's a one-part requirement that has stipulations added to it, right? The requirement is we get above the 382 and we close a day above the 382. It doesn't matter how high, the higher the better. In fact, I think a bullish engulfing candle would be nice. If we could close above 114K, even better, right? The more bullish, the better. Because then that helps with the stipulation, which is you cannot close below the 382 again. You can close above, wick below, and then still close above. That's fine, but it's just best if you do something like this to get back above it and just never look back, right? These situations can actually promote some very solid growth in a very short amount of time. I wonder if we can find anything like this in Bitcoin's, not in its recent history, because I know all these ones. Let's see, what about this? I know all those ones are at the 236. Oh, I didn't mean to double click. I double clicked, so it just went nowhere. If you're wondering what the price is, you can just look there, but I mean, it's probably old. Like here, right? But you didn't close below. You didn't close back above on the next day. You came up, found resistance, and then inevitably went to the 0.5. See, so that's a point in the favor of what I was talking about. But as far as like going lower would be, let's see. Is there another example? Maybe this. That looks a little too low. That's probably at the 0.5 as well. Yeah, Bitcoin does like to find support at its 0.5. I don't know if I can find an example of it. I'm going to try one more time. I think that's the 0.52 though, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's it right there. Closed below the 382, went to the 0.5. Bitcoin, on that note, actually, while we've gone over this brief history, Bitcoin really has had a flirtation with its 0.5 throughout this whole bull cycle. So it's not completely impossible to go down to 110K. What's another $2,000 or so between friends? But it's very possible, very, very possible indeed that we find support here. Bitcoin seems to find support at these areas, just above them, but even right at these areas of prior resistance, and then we get a rocket ship to the upside. So hopefully that's exactly what we get. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here and divulge some more information. So, and I can explain why I actually do believe this is the low, even with the fact that we've closed below the 382 and that we haven't closed above it yet. There's a reason why I'm actually pretty bullish on this being the low. First off, we do have this double bottom look, okay? You had some volume come in on this breakout, but as you went lower, no volume came in at all. In fact, we got 12 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. 12 minutes is a lot of time. We can absolutely come back and reverse this. But if we close this time frame green with some solid volume to it, we had volume come in to break out, but you went nowhere with it. And in fact, you had a double bottom and you're set to retrace. So that's actually a good look in itself for a low. If we're looking at this on the RSI, you bounced right off the oversold zone. Your whole kind of downtrend here that you have, right? Lower highs throughout this whole thing. This area, you've kind of flirted with this area the most without seeing solid progress to the downside. Right here, you flirted with this area a little bit, down. Flirted with this area a little bit, down. Right? Immediately down. Flirted with this area, down. Right? Here, you've gone down, sure, but it's just insignificant. It seems a little bit more bullishly derived. I don't know if how to make sense out of this, right? You've got this trend line here. It looks like you're grinding this area out more than you have before, and you have a kind of double bottom here at the oversold zone. I don't know. It looks good. To me, it looks good overall. And we might be bouncing off the 40 here too, if this 1 hour time frame can close green, which at the moment it looks like it wants to, but again, 11 minutes left. That's a lot of time. I mean, we're only up $169. We can move down like that in 2 seconds. It could happen. I mean, Bitcoin can just shove right back down there or shove to the upside. So keep pushing, little buddy. You can do it. No. You're going the wrong direction. There you go. That direction. That way. You're going the right way. MACD does have a double bottom as well. There's bullish things going on here, building some bullish momentum right now. I would say there's more bullish things than bearish things for the MACD. The one thing that is actually pretty bearish, though, is that we are so far below the zero. But other than that, I think that we have some good structure going on here. Stochastics coming out of the oversold zone typically, even if you reject the overbought zone, right? And we were talking about that in my last video. We got that 1 hour to close red, so hopefully a lot of you were aware that we were going lower. We actually did mention that, right? Typically, you don't go here and then here and then here and then here with the stochastics. Typically, it's oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. So even if we do set up to reject the overbought zone, we'll at least have some kind of warning for that. It's not too common that you turn around in between. I mean, you can see that here. We don't really see any iterations of that. Sure, you stumbled a little bit here, but you still went higher. You stumbled a little bit here, but you went higher. Does that make sense? Here, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. You tend to range. Don't treat the stochastics like the RSI. There we go, moving up in the right direction. The RSI is different. They're similar, but they're different. Same, but different. 4 hour time frame, a little bit more bullish here. Okay, this is what makes me think that we have found the low, is that the last 4 hour candle we had to close August 2nd was a green candle. With that, we confirm that there is, in fact, bullish divergence. We have higher lows in the RSI with lower lows in the price. That in itself would at least call for a move that's up to about 113.3K. And with a move like that off of the area that we just found support at, I can't help but think that that would help validate this as a low. To really validate this as a low from a price perspective, what I would want to see is a 4 hour time frame to close above here. 4 hour closing low, 4 hour closing highs for resistance right here, right? Or not highs, but just kind of turbulent area there. $115.3 thousand. I wonder if there's any liquidations up at that level. Let's look at the past day. First off, guys, on a 30-day time frame, the shorts have stacked on. We've got like $20 billion of shorts. And this is just between OKX, Binance, and Bybit. There's probably more than $20 billion, $30 billion of shorts in the whole crypto space. Longs are decimated. Longs are totally decimated. I mean, we have about $4 billion of longs. If we went down to 110K, that 0.5 area of that major fib retracement. So we, $5 billion of longs, $4 billion of longs, still appetizing enough to potentially push the price down. But you've got, I mean, not even at new all-time highs, you've got $13 billion of shorts to liquidate. You might not even liquidate them. People think that liquidating shorts is the only way. Well, I guess they do. Is it? Are you not technically liquidating your short even if you don't get liquidated, right? Like if you close a short, you've liquidated it, right? It's become liquid. I don't know. Closing your shorts out or getting liquidated, I think they're different. I wonder. Let me actually just see. Is liquidating a short position the same as closing it? Could it be? I mean, I know that it's different in the sense that we're talking about, but technically speaking, yeah. Whatever. I don't. That's not gonna help. I was looking for the AI overview, not the Reddit, not some genius on Reddit. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we're bouncing, you guys. All I'm trying to say is, regardless if they get liquidated or they close their positions, it's the same effect. They're going to have to buy back. So as we move higher, we don't even have to liquidate these positions. There will be intense buying pressure, and people will probably pile on more shorts. You would think that as the price goes higher, people would pile on more longs, and there will be more longs piled on. But if people are bearish right now, which I'm wondering how the sentiment is in the crypto space right now. Let's see what I think CoinMarketCap's crypto fear and greed index is on point, by the way, at least in comparison to any other fear and greed indexes I've seen. Neutral, a little bit more fearful than we've been, right? People might be in the belief that we're going to go lower, that any higher point from here is just going to be a lower high and then we come down. So as we go higher, there will be more shorts piled on. All I'm trying to say, and I'm doing it very poorly, is that there's a ton of shorts piled on to the upside. And that is fuel to the fire to the upside. Whether they get liquidated or not, you close the position or not, you don't need to liquidate them in order for them to be bullish. We go up to 115K over the last 24 hours. That's $1.5 billion. This is where I got caught up in the first place. 115K there. The area we need to close above to validate that this is the low would be about 115.3K. So I like that. That's also right above our. Typically, whenever you see a wall like this, you actually do go through it a little bit, right? You don't actually stop right at it. You go through it a little bit. So that wouldn't be too crazy at all. Yeah, that makes sense to me, man. There's a pretty good amount of longs too, but why wouldn't there be? We're at a very pivotal moment right now. Looking at this on the 4-hour time frame, again, we've got bullish divergence on the RSI. Not bullish divergence on the stochastics, but a double bottom nonetheless off the blue lines there. Not bad, looking like it's pointed up. Bullish divergence on the MACD. I think it's time to turn this thing around, man. We'll see how it goes, but I'm expecting a rather good day today, Sunday. Maybe we drop a little bit Monday as well. We could continue to pump. CryptoFace has put it on everyone's radar. If you guys don't know who CryptoFace is, you should follow him on x.com because he's one of the bigger traders in the space. But he's typically, whenever people catch on to a trend, that's whenever the trend stops working. And he's caught on to this trend that we pump up on Sundays, or that we come up over the weekend, and then we dump on Monday. We have that Monday dump, or like we give back the price action Monday, Tuesday. The fact that he noticed that, and he said it was 4 weeks in a row that we've done that. I think it's even like 5 or 6 weeks in a row that we've done that. We might not do that this week, right? We might get a little dump fake on Monday and then just continue to rally. But I'm expecting, regardless of what we do Monday, regardless of what we do Tuesday, I think we have found our low. We will validate that once we get above 115.3K. I think we have found our low. We will validate that once we get above $115.3 thousand on a 4-hour time frame or a daily time frame closing period specifically. If we get up to 115.3K, 115.5K, but it's a wick and we close back down at 114K, we're probably going to go lower. That's a serious area to reject. That'd be pretty bad. But again, I'm also running off this little belief that I have, which is whenever you see a trend line like this, the best time to buy is actually just below the trend line. Everybody thinks, oh no, we've broken out of the trend, we're going lower, this means something, but it doesn't mean anything. Really what it means is there's a bunch of people who will capitulate because they think they know what they're doing. The strong money steps in. This is not the line that you should be paying attention to. This is the line that you should be paying attention to. And we found support on it. At least as of now, it looks like we found support. 23 hours left in the day, a lot of daylight to burn, but I mean, hell, guys, we've moved up like $600, about 1,000. Since I've been sitting in my desk, we've moved up about $1,000, but since this video began, we moved up about 600 or 700 bucks, which isn't much, but I'm just saying these little differences can make a difference, that's for sure. And right now, it's definitely a very bullish look on the daily time frame. Daily time frame closing green here. We're bouncing at the same area that we bounced before, same area that we bounced before, same area that we bounced before. Perfect area to bounce. Daily RSI is still super bullish, you guys. We're right in this zone. We're literally right in this zone where we find support, where we've been finding support since March of this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? A little bit lower than those last two, but again, a lower low with a higher low is hidden bullish divergence. Stochastics are in the in the oversold zone. A little bit lower on the blue line than we've seen, and the red line, the orange line, but still in this area that we like to find support, right in the oversold. Stochastics typically do go oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. In very bullish trends, we can, do this kind of stuff, which is what we're doing, but you don't really stop anywhere in between. We haven't crossed up yet, but when we get this blue line above the band here and the orange line back above the band, that's whenever it's time to celebrate and things are really getting frisky. Looking at the daily MACD, depending on how we come up here, we could still move down a little bit and scoop this 0. I think that would look good. It would be nice to get some kind of reaction like that, but hey, whatever. I don't care. Get a higher low. That's fine too. We don't need that. MACD overall is bullish. How is it bullish, C-Zar? We're building bearish momentum. We're pointed down to the 0. Well, as long as we bounce here, it'll be actually a very bullish setup because again, we'll scoop that 0, we'll cross up, and then we'll come up. The reason why it's also bullish, looking at this bearish momentum being built, is that this is a deeper reading. I believe, yeah. It's a slightly deeper reading than this last reading. And if you look at all these histograms, typically you actually do find support right here, as far as the histogram goes, right? Oscillators, the lines that cross, histogram, the little bars, the little colorful green and red Christmas bars, right? I say Christmas because green and red makes me think about Christmas. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? It should. Or maybe your favorite football team versus another football team. I don't know. American football or European football, whatever, or I guess world football, any football. But we're at an area to find resistance or find support where we found resistance to the downside or found support before. And another thing too, having a lower reading like this while maintaining a higher low, that is a bullish thing as well. It's hidden bullish divergence. So good things coming in as long as we find support here. Again, if today the first bearish domino to fall would be if today closes below 112.985, basically 113K. If we cannot today close above 113K, I don't care if it's at 112.9K. No, that's not enough. We need to close above 113K. If we can't do that today, it's a very real possibility that we go down to 0.5. And that's something that I almost forgot to consider. I would normally probably in this situation not think it's possible or even likely. But because of the 382 and because of Bitcoin's strong relationship with the 0.5 throughout this whole cycle, it's something to consider. But we'll only consider it if today we don't get above 113K. Watch today we go down there and then it's irrelevant. And then the next day, then we pump. That'd be perfect. But whatever, sometimes that's how it happens. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Weekly time frame. Man. That sucks though, right? I hope we get a very bullish day today, Sunday, because we got 23 hours left. This is something that's a bit of a problem. The weekly time frame, this is the second time we've done this. This is very uncommon. This is very uncommon behavior. You guys, I was promised, and you were promised, probably by me, that once we get into the overbought zone on the weekly time frame, it's up only for 6 to 7 weeks. That's how it's been this whole damn cycle. That's how it's been throughout Bitcoin's whole life. We don't do this. This is not common. Not my bull market, man. I'll tell you what, though. Bouncing off the 60 is not a bad look. So I suppose if we close here or around here, it's not a problem. But we really do want to close above 113K. Maybe today's super bullish, guys, and we have a 5 or 6% day. I don't know. We've got the shorts to send it through the roof, but that's kind of a bummer. I was not expecting that we would close this week to the downside like this, outside the overbought zone. That's not what we even bounced off the overbought zone last time. Whatever, though. Whatever. We can come back from it. It's just not common behavior right now, what we're seeing. I hope it doesn't get in the way of all the other good things that we've talked about. Stochastics are still bullish as long as next week is green and we don't close lower than where we are now this week. MACD is still bullish as well. there's good things going on, but hopefully today's a little bit more bullish than I expect it to be. Maybe we get a massive day today and it just eats up the last like 3 days of price action. That would be awesome, but I don't know. I'm not holding my breath over that. Right now, what I'm holding my breath over is can today or tomorrow or can today first off close above 113K. And then can we get above 115.3K? 113K today is necessary. 115.3K at some point is necessary to validate this low. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.